Donald Trump's trip to China has been ruined before Donald Trump even stepped foot in China. You see Xi Jinping in China, they are downplaying Donald Trump's visit. They are treating the visit of a United States president like they don't even care. The front page of China's main newspaper, China Daily, talks about the Chinese-Tajikistan relationship. Sino-Tajik ties enter new phase. That's the main story. Xi Jinping meeting with the leader of Tajikistan, not Donald Trump. Although Donald Trump's visit does get a sidebar on the front page of China Daily, and they put it on the sidebar on purpose of the front page. But you may be saying, well, what about the Chinese websites? What about Xinhua? What about CCTV? Well, I'm glad you asked. The CCTV and Xinhua websites at the moment, they don't mention Donald Trump's visit at all. They don't mention the United States at all. And as this one account says, those who are familiar with China know very well what this means. Those who aren't will learn soon. In other words, Xi Jinping in China are teaching Donald Trump a lesson in who has the power. And one of the ways China projects power is in what it doesn't say. And while it gave others a hero's welcome, they are not giving that to Donald Trump. Well, who did they give a hero's welcome to recently? I'm glad you asked. Foreign Minister Araghchi of Iran, greeted like a hero in China. That was plastered on the front page of China's main newspapers and websites. And then you had photos like this coming out of this state visit. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi meeting with his counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing last week. And Araghchi explained how he held constructive talks in Beijing with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Both sides reaffirmed Iran's right to safeguard national sovereignty and national dignity. The Iranian side appreciates the 4-point proposal put forward by the Chinese side on upholding and promoting regional peace and stability. The Iranian side trusts the Chinese side and expects the Chinese side to continue playing a positive role in promoting peace and stopping war, and supports the establishment of a new post-war regional architecture that can coordinate development and security. Let me translate that code for you. The U.S., not part of that post-war architecture. China leading the way with Iran. Also, Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, said the following last week. The war of the United States and Israel against Iran is illegitimate. Establishing a complete ceasefire is an essential matter. So, we heard from China's foreign minister spokesperson in advance of Donald Trump's trip there, and China is setting the tone. China is saying, here's what we will be talking about. Here's what we won't be talking about. And China saying, we don't care if you come with a team of 50 American CEOs. China is going to continue its path that's in the interest of China. And you bringing all of these CEOs, you trying to turn this into a circus, we are not going to be deterred. Folks, I think this trip is going to be an absolute disaster. I think it's shaping up to be that, as Donald Trump wants to make it into this grand spectacle. And China, they're more interested in showing their meeting with Tajikistan than Donald Trump. That should tell you a lot. So here's what China's foreign minister spokesperson had to say if Donald Trump intends to bring up the issue of Taiwan. Play this clip.
During President Trump's visit to China, the two heads of state will have an in-depth exchange of views on major issues concerning China-US relations, as well as world peace and development. China's position of opposing US arms sales to the Taiwan region of China is consistent and clear.
Now, China's foreign ministry spokesperson also said, here's how we feel about the U.S. implementing sanctions on a unilateral basis. We don't support them, and we will retaliate. Play this clip.
China firmly opposes illegal unilateral sanctions that lack a basis in international law and are not authorized by the UN Security Council, and will firmly safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of its enterprises.
More on China talking about United States unlawful sanctions. Let's play this clip.
We oppose illegal unilateral sanctions lacking international legal basis or UN Security Council authorization, and we will take firm measures to protect our enterprises and citizens. In Iran, the priority is preventing renewed hostilities rather than maliciously linking the situation to China to smear us.
And then to the extent Donald Trump wants to bring up anything about Jimmy Lai, China says, we have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to talk about. We believe Jimmy Lai is a anti-China individual who is appropriately imprisoned by Hong Kong authorities for spreading anti-China sentiment and is aligned with Taiwan and is aligned with trying to harm China. We're not talking about that. Now, I'm just letting you know what China is saying. So they're drawing their lines, their red lines of what they're talking about and what they're not talking about. Let's play this clip.
Jimmy Lai is a primary mastermind and participant in anti-China and Hong Kong destabilizing activities. Hong Kong affairs are China's internal affairs. The Chinese central government firmly supports Hong Kong's judicial authorities in performing their duties in accordance with the law.
On the other hand, while China is talking about Tajikistan over the U.S. meeting, here's the list of individuals that Donald Trump says that he is bringing on this trip. And we've seen a lot of them enter Air Force One. Here's the following: Elon Musk, Jensen over at NVIDIA, Tim Cook, Larry Fink at BlackRock, Steven Schwarzman at Blackstone, Kelly Ortberg, Boeing, the CEO of Cargill, the CEO of Citigroup, of General Electric, of Goldman Sachs, of Micron, of Qualcomm. Trump says there are many other CEOs joining him on the trip who have not yet been disclosed. And Xi Jinping's like, yeah, you're not going to dazzle us with your CEOs. I mean, we're going to treat this like any other state visit, and we know our lane. You stay in your lane. Although this trip apparently is manipulating the market for Donald Trump and for the United States on the news that NVIDIA's CEO is going. NVIDIA surges to its highest level on record as Trump confirms that Jensen Wang over at NVIDIA is on board the Air Force One heading to China. And now NVIDIA is worth $5.4 trillion. Also aboard Air Force One, you have Marco Rubio wearing the Nike Tech Venezuela Air Force One outfit on Air Force One. That's the same outfit that Maduro wore when he was captured. I guess this is how the U.S. is showing that they're tough. You have Eric Trump and Lara Trump on the trip. By the way, they didn't know the right door to enter on Marine One, and they were told to go around. They watched as they kind of go into the wrong door. You had Donald Trump struggling up the stairs, as I showed at the beginning of this video, as he was getting on Air Force One to head there. And if you think about it, Donald Trump revealed all of his cards before he even got there, how much he loves Xi Jinping. Like at that weird presser 2 days ago, Donald Trump says, Xi Jinping is an amazing man. He's like a king. He's like a king of 1.4 billion people. Here, play this clip.
I find him to be an amazing man. And when I say that, the press always says, oh, that's terrible that he called it. He runs 1.4 billion people with a pretty iron fist. He loves his country, I can tell you that. President Xi, I look forward to being there. And if he felt anything, we wouldn't be doing it.
And then Donald Trump says, I just wish that if Xi Jinping came to the United States, we had our ballroom ready for him. The golden ballroom that we're building, I wish that was ready for him. Here, play this clip.
I only wish we had the ballroom finished. The ballroom is right on budget and ahead of schedule, but I wish we had it finished now. You also may want to do one other thing. You may want to go see the reflecting pool, because that's under construction, and for the first time since 1922, it's going to work properly.
Sure, and the gas tax in Congress.
And then Trump was asked, well, what's your message to Xi Jinping on the Iran war, given that we know Iran and China are allies, and the U.S. is at war with Iran, and China and Iran are helping each other. So what's your message knowing all of that, Donald? Here, play this clip.
President, what is your message to President Xi as it relates to the Iran war?
Well, I think number one, we're going to have a long talk about it. I think he's been relatively good, to be honest with you. You look at the blockade, no problem. They get a lot of their oil from that area. We've had no problem, and he's been a friend of mine. He's been somebody that we get along with, and I think you're going to see that good things are going to happen. This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Then, of course, Donald Trump, while in Air Force One, posting a bunch of deranged messages like AI memes of himself pointing at you and says, "I want you. I want you." I saw someone say, "I want you to be poor." Right? Donald Trump said yesterday, "I don't care about the finances," like his direct quote. "I don't care about the financial condition of the American people, not one bit," he said. Donald Trump also posting 51st state maps and now saying that Venezuela is going to be the 51st state. And that's how Donald Trump is behaving. You have Iran's ambassador to China posting the following message. The ties, was what he wrote yesterday, as Donald Trump was on Air Force One. The ties between Iran and China as two countries and two ancient civilizations with deep cultures and strong relations which seek security, peace, and shared development in the region are stronger than that for America to be able to change Beijing's position toward Tehran by pressuring China. The Islamic Republic of Iran has announced its readiness to support the Chinese president's four-point plan aimed at establishing lasting security and shared development in the Persian Gulf region, an issue that was also emphasized during the meeting between the foreign ministers of the two countries. Any potential agreement must necessarily be accompanied by guarantees from the great powers and raised in the United Nations Security Council as well. China and Russia are two major influential powers, and given the position that China holds for Iran and other countries in the Persian Gulf region, Beijing can serve as the guarantor for the agreement. So in other words, new security architecture in the Middle East, China in, US out, Iran major regional player, China's sphere of influence and security umbrella goes into the Middle East. America influence goes away. Iran is good with that. And so expect that to happen when we observe what's going on. China, Xi Jinping, as Donald Trump arrives, they're setting it up where we don't care if you're here. And then what they'll probably do, because it's so easy to play Donald Trump like a fiddle, hey, you want to be a hero? New security architecture in the Middle East, America out, China in, agree to our plan. China, recognize China's claims to Taiwan. We keep rare earths, and then we'll help you manipulate your stock market, Donald, a little bit. You want us to help you with the CEOs manipulate the stock market? We'll help you with that. We'll say you got a big win there, Donald. We'll say you did it, man. Don't you think that's what's going to happen? Isn't it obvious? It's already been written, huh? Just watch. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.